Today we're going to be focusing on using and understanding Google Classroom. So you can take the Google Classroom app and apply it right here. And then if you don't want it there, you can move it around. I have it placed right here. We're going to go ahead and click on that. Okay, once you're inside Google Classroom, you'll notice you have all of your classes that you ever create. If you've never created classrooms before, that's okay. Today you're going to be focusing on joining Google Classroom and kind of going through and seeing what each thing is about. So each classroom has a class code, and this is the code that you will share with your students. So the code is found right here, and it is right under the student section. So once you have entered the class code or you've given out the class code to your students, you want to think about adding things to the stream. And the stream is really what your classroom is going to see. So what you do is you add right here, this little add button. You can create an assignment, an announcement, a question, or reuse a post. Once you have this going and you start using it multiple times, you can use the repost over and over and over again from different classes to help you along the way. I want us today to be focusing on creating an assignment. And what we're going to do is we're going to have to learn how to upload resources. And you would click on the resource button. So there are different buttons that you can add resources with. This one is where you insert a link. This one's a video. This is something from the Google Drive. And this one is one way to insert something from the computer. So the next thing you want to think about is adding a title. So I'm just going to say overview. And if you want to add any specific instructions, you can do that here. The other thing is you can change who gets it. So once you have your students in there, you can click different buttons to show which students you want to get it and which students you don't. You can also change it so you can add multiple classes. Once you have done that, you can think about adding a due date. And what you can do is you can say it's due on a certain day and also with a time. So once that time and that date pass, they can no longer submit things. You can also add a topic, so you can create topics so that it's organized within your classroom. The last step before you create an assignment, you need to say, are you going to assign it, are you going to schedule it, or save it as a draft? The schedule is nice because you can decide when it actually pops up into the classroom, which is really great if you're working on creating resources and you only want the students to use a resource at a certain time. So if you want them to use the resource, you can go through and use the resource. Let's say you want it to have on July 24th at 8 a.m. Well, then you would schedule it and it would be waiting in your archive in your classroom until that day to submit. So right here you can see it's a save post and it's waiting to submit till that day. Okay, so the next section I want to talk about is the about section, and this is where you're going to want to kind of think about, okay, are there other teachers that I need to invite? You can just simply click on the invite teachers and then type in their name and add them. There's also a way to have calendar reminders, and you can add things from your drive here. And then it creates it all in a folder for you, so everything's nicely organized. Okay, so now it is your turn to go through and create your classrooms. And this way we're going to start sharing our resources right here in our training classroom and help everyone kind of build that repertoire of understanding which resources are useful and which ones are not.